today. I am Jill, the interviewer. This is Gullara, my sister, the director. This is Neil, the cameraman, and Oliver, sound person or the second camera.
My name's John Nichols and my wife Fiona and I have been farming barramundi here at Heywire on this property for the last 6 years.
What are we doing here?
We're feeding the fish. This happens every morning. They're getting their breakfast, lunch and dinner all in one.
What are in these pellets?
There's cereal and fish oil, so all sorts of other goodies.
Here you go, fishies.
In the winter time they don't eat as much, and in the summertime they eat like teenagers.
How much of these pellets do you feed them?
Every day we record how much we feed each pond, and that gives us an idea of what our feed conversion rate is. So normally it's around about 1.2 kilos of food to grow a 1 kilo fish. Yes, I'm just feeding our small fish in the cages. These fish have only been in not quite a week. They're in the cages to help protect them from predation from birds such as night herons and cormorants, water rats, which love eating small fish.
Where do the fingerlings come from and what sizes are they?
They come from over at Gelatin.
Here I am at Barramundi Gardens. I'm here to see the fingerlings. Look at the fishes. They're so tiny.
Well, this is where it all starts with the little guys. They arrive at about 15 millimetres long. Tim grows them up when they get to 100 mils long. Tim brings them over to us.
There's a lot more fish in the tanks than you can actually see. Oh wow.
Today, Friday, is our harvest day. So in this pond we have raised 6,000 fish. In the end we hope to get a majority of fish that are going to be about 800 grams to a kilo, and that's what we aim for. On the bottom of that net is actually a lead line, and that takes the net right down to the bottom of the pond, and then it's got the floats up the top, and it acts as a wall to capture the fish. And when they pull it in, the fish, some of them will actually jump over the top, but the majority of them will come forward up this end where we'll actually harvest them as the boys are doing now. And then they'll go into this ice and salt bin, and that will euthanise them pretty quickly.
It looks like you got a lot there. How can you tell if the barramundi in here are boys or girls?
All of the fish we have in every single one of these ponds are males. They won't turn into girls until they get to salt water.
Oh,
and
wow.
That's when they'll spawn.
What are those huge spinning things at the end of the ponds?
In this pond we've actually got two types of aerators. The one that's making the most fluff is a paddle aerator. So what its job is to actually spin around with paddles, go into the water, bring that water out and actually add oxygen into it and fling it back in again. We've got another smaller aerator that sits on the surface of the water. It actually has a little funnel at the top of it. It has a little propeller down the bottom, and the air will go down through that propeller and will actually push the air out that way.
Why do you need to put air into the water?
Because, believe it or not, fish need oxygen to live. When they move through that water goes over their gills, and their gills will actually take the oxygen into the rest of their body, and that is what they also need to survive, just like we do.
What is this? What are we doing here today?
Well, today we're going to be just testing to see how the water is doing. Sensors in here read the temperature for me. That'll read how much dissolved oxygen is in the water. And the other thing I look for in this farm is the pH level.
It's really useful technology.
It is. Every pond, every tank you have, you need to be moving your water around. So in 5 weeks, we'll have completely changed all of that water in that pond, and that is essentially for the health of the fish. And this moat serves two purposes: to catch that 20% and also to help clean that water up, because as it makes its way through all of these plants, they're actually pulling the extra nutrients out, so that when it gets into our big dam down the end, it's a lot cleaner.
So what's going on here?
This is where the fish are getting packed. They're getting weighed and graded into their sizes. They go from 500-600 grams, 600 to 800 grams, and 800 to a kilo, packed in the boxes. See, they're packing them on 2 different pallets because those ones are going to Sydney, these ones are going to Brisbane.
So you go from the fish whole to your fillet to your skin.
It really shows how much the fish goes from pond to plate. Yeah, not everybody eats the fish skins, do they?
It's almost like having chips. And there's so many things you can actually do with fish. It's such a good source of protein. You need much less fish than you do a meat protein. And for somebody that's in the commercial line, there is not a lot of wastage in a fish. You've seen the sizes of the area we've got our ponds in. In that area, we have done up to 50 tonne of fish. Now for that same area, there's no way that you would get 50 tonne of cattle, sheep, in that smaller area.
That's amazing. This is 100% guaranteed Australian fish.
It is, you know where this has come from. We don't just harvest to send away, we like to taste, just to make sure that we know what our fish tastes like and that there's nothing gone wrong.
As good as pork crackle, probably better.
Oh yeah. What are these?
Well, this is another thing you can actually do with barramundi. These are barramundi spring rolls.
Yeah, they're always finding new ways to incorporate fish into food. This is delicious.
When you eat the Barramundi Gold Gourmet Spring Rolls, you know where the barramundi come from. Yep.
You can see with our pond setup, we don't have anything artificial. Everything here is natural. We look after everything in a natural way because we can't use chemicals. Chemicals will kill the fish. And I think if you can learn where your food comes from, you will actually choose to eat a healthier option.